Hey everybody, welcome back in. As promised, I wanted to give my thoughts on the Generation 1 PU metagame. PU stands for perfectly useless, and I think we had a good time here. Yeah, I just want to give my thoughts. There are 17 Pokemon that are officially listed. I know that Generation 1 PU is definitely going through some changes, and so there's a good chance that these out of these 17, some go up to NU, maybe some drop to ZU. I think that after playing this tier, there's some ZU Pokemon as well that were just fantastic, and maybe they can make a push to go to PU. So, anyways, I want to jump into the tier maker here and just give my thoughts. So the first thing I do want to tell you though, there were 7 ZU Pokemon that I thought were just super viable. Depends on the situation, but Magmar, Drowsy, and Scyther especially were very splashable. I had Magmar and Scyther on a team and was just doing work. And Magmar is not really a second Rapidash per se. Magmar uses Confuse Ray instead of Fire Spin, and it's a little bit slower than Rapidash, but it's faster than Nidoking, faster than Venusaur, clearly, faster than Golduck, faster than Abra. Sometimes that Confuse Ray is amazing when you don't have a prayer and you just want to get the RNG to go your way. And I hate that Gen 1 can be that way, but that's just how it is sometimes. Drowsy, I usually ran Thunder Wave, Psychic, Seismic Toss, and Rest as a way to deal with Abra and maybe Execute a little bit. If Execute blows up on you, that's just kind of how it goes. I like Drowsy. I think that Drowsy probably shouldn't be PU necessarily, but I think Drowsy's splashable for sure. Scyther's fast, 308 speed. I think the key with Scyther is he can speed tie Rapidash, and if you don't have a shot in hell, you try to go for a critical hit Hyper Beam, which is a 20.5% chance, not impossible. You get a critical hit Hyper Beam on Rapidash when Rapidash is below 80%. You just turn the match in your favor. Omanite, I like Omanite a lot because of the way Omanite just boxes Rapidash in. Let's see. Fire Spin, Fire Blast, 4 times resists. Hyper Beam resists. Body Slam resists. Rapidash is foolish to stay in an Omanite and try to burn all those Fire Spins off. If you run Rest on Omanite, it's over. It's 1v. Omanite 1v1's Rapidash all day. You have to be careful that you don't get weakened systematically over the match. You know you have Venusaur too to worry about when you're Almanite, and Nidoking's Earthquake, of course. But if you can keep the pieces up, Almanite's awesome. Now Dragonair, Pidgeot, and Slowpoke, I still think that they are very good Pokemon in this format, but a little bit more niche. Pidgeot has that great ground resistance to Nidoking's Earthquake, so you can switch in. I've been rocked by Pidgeot a couple times, but then again, there's been times where I've kind of handled Pidgeot with ease. Pidgeot and Dragonair both have agility. With Dragonair, if you can weaken the team and get the agility off, you can just wrap your way to victory. 85% chance that it hits, so you have to deal with the mischance. But as long as their Gastly is dead, you have a shot. It's not perfect, but yeah, Dragonair can do that. I think it is annoying, but there's that beautiful thing where you can just skip turn or skip the animation, which can speed the game up. But yeah, if Dragonair's in the game, there's a good chance that a 30-turn game became a 60-turn game, unfortunately. But Rapidash is guilty of the same thing with Fire Spin, so I can't fault Dragonair for that. Slowpoke, what I like about Slowpoke, drops Thunder Wave, has Amnesia, Surf, and Psychic. Surf and Psychic hit a lot of Pokemon hard. Nidoking, Venusaur, let's see, hits Kingler. The Psychic will hit Kingler hard. Can hit Porygon decently hard if the Amnesia's up. Gastly's weak to Psychic. Rapidash weak to Surf. So, and Graveler. So, Slowpoke, I think, has a niche, but you got to keep Slowpoke healthy. I think that Slowpoke, unfortunately, you can't really run Rest. Otherwise, you have to drop Psychic or Surf, or even Thunder Wave. You could probably drop Thunder Wave and have the rest of your team paralyzed, like Porygon and Abra and maybe Wigglytuff, and then Slowpoke can come in and sweep. But I didn't really experiment with that. I went Psychic, Surf, Amnesia, and Thunder Wave. Now, let's get into the PU mons. These are the 17 Pokemon that are listed here on the Smogon site. And so I just kind of wanted to give each and every one of them at least 10 seconds of glory here. So first up, I got Wigglytuff at 17. Wigglytuff has Sing, 55% chance to hit. Game changing though if it does. Wigglytuff can also use Thunder Wave and Body Slam. Remember, you can't paralyze normal Pokemon with Body Slam, so Porygon and Wigglytuff will be immune to the paralysis effect, but you never know. There's a shot that you can hit a paralysis, and it's pretty useful. And so I think you shouldn't discount Wigglytuff. However, I think Wigglytuff in Gen 2 much stronger in NU with the curse, the rest talk, and everything. So it's kind of weird coming from a Generation 2 background to Gen 1 and seeing Wigglytuff in such a rough spot. Next up, I have Machamp at 16. I only faced, I think, 3 Machamps all month. Just crazy. Machamp's just not in a lot of spots. Machamp is weak to Psychic. There's Psychic Pokemon everywhere. Porygon runs Psychic too. I think that Machamp has a great attack, has Earthquake for coverage. Submission is a terrible move. Everyone knows that. But, I mean, if you can paralyze your opponent's team, Machamp can come in and kind of do some late game cleaning. But, honestly, I'm not very impressed by the gentleman, the bulky boy. At 15, I put Vileplume. Vileplume has Sleep Powder, but Vileplume is clearly a worse Venusaur. And I think if you're running Vileplume, it's just because you don't like Venusaur, and that's fine, because, I mean, I don't like Golduck, so, like, you can choose to not like and love which Pokemons you like. You can choose to like who you like and love who you don't. But, Vileplume is, I have Vileplume 15 because the better accurate sleep move, but in the end is a worse Venusaur, but still not terrible. So at 14, I put Seaking. Seaking has agility. I think I faced maybe 10 Seakings or so, and I think Seaking's goals come in agility, maybe Swords Dance and Hyper Beam, and Surf. Correct me if I'm wrong on all that, but Seaking slow, not totally slow, but Nidoking, an Earthquake and a Thunderbolt follow up can sometimes do work. Seaking has 234 speed, I think, so all of these guys are faster. Rapidash and Gastly are faster. I think Kingler's even faster. Staryu's faster. Pinsir and Porygon can just paralyze it. So, now with agility, though, paralysis pretty much goes away. But, anyways, I have Seaking at 14. Better than Vileplume, Machamp, and Wigglytuff, but not exactly great. I'm not in a huge rush to use Seaking. I got Pinsir at 13. I think Pinsir is a cool-looking Pokemon. I know that some people call Pinsir used. And I think that Pinsir has some viability, good speed. Speed ties Nidoking and Golduck. You can get a Swords Dance up, Hyper Beam submission. Good move. Good strong move. Submission stinks, but I just find that just paralyze Pinsir. Paralyze him. And then Pinsir's under control. Once Pinsir's under control with paralysis, it's a rough day for the poor guy. At 12, I put Kingler. So, I love Kingler. I think Kingler is so cool in Gen 2 NU. But Kingler needs so much help to set up. And that is the truth here in Gen 1 PU. He's slow. And so, Nidoking runs Thunderbolt. Nidoqueen has Thunderbolt. Razor Leaf, devastating from Venusaur. Even an Amnesia Golduck Surf can do a lot of damage because Kingler Special is just not good. Abra Psychic, devastating. Gastly runs Psychic and Thunderbolt. Staryu. And so there's a lot of threats out there. And so with a little bit of support, you might be able to get Kingler to go. That critical hit Crabhammer, though, is just delicious. Crushes the Nidos, Graveler, Rapidash, and Magmar take a ton of damage from that. And so, don't discount the Crabhammer, but again, a lot of setup needed. Now, here's the hottest take probably of the day. Nidoqueen going at number 11. Nidoqueen used to run this tier, but when Nidoking dropped from NU, forget it. Nidoking's just better because of his higher speed and better attack. And I hate for it to be that way, but basically, Nidoking will 2-hit KO Nidoqueen, and vice versa. Nidoqueen will 2-hit KO Nidoking, but Nidoking's faster. So unless Nidoqueen gets a critical hit, which is actually a harder proposition, Nidoking's crit rate is like 1 in 6, and Nidoqueen's is a little bit worse than that. Nidoqueen just You can try to run a double Nido team, but now you have a real problem against Golduck. And you have a pretty bad problem against, like, maybe not Gastly's per se, but a Staryu, Abra. Nidoqueen can't even one-hit KO Abra with Earthquake. That's kind of sad from a power perspective. Nidoking can one-hit KO Abra like 86% of the time, I believe, with Earthquake. Abra is like paper mache, but it can survive the hit from Nidoqueen, and then, you know, the extra bulk on Nidoqueen doesn't seem to matter now that Nidoking is in the tier. If Nidoking's not in this tier, then it's totally different. But, and look, I love Nidoqueen. I love using the Queen in Gen 2 UU. Nidoqueen's one of my favorite Pokemon for sure. But I just think that in this tier, in fact, Nidoqueen, of all these PU Pokemon, Nidoqueen's probably my favorite. Just like my favorite overall Pokemon of the 17 PU mons. It's just not good anymore. And I hate to say that, and it breaks my heart. But anyways, let's move up to the next tier. I got 7 through 9 up at this tier. I got Exeggcute at number 9. This is what I like about Exeggcute. Can switch on Nidoking's Earthquake or Nidoqueen's Earthquake. If it doesn't get crit, it can survive a Blizzard, and then it can drop a Sleep Powder, and then you can Stun Spore on the switch. I think I dropped a video about this. I got a Stun Spore off on a Magmar incoming. Delicious. And then you blow up. Explosion. Just, it's amazing. I think Exeggute's got good quality to him. And that Psychic is also devastating. I don't really find a match where you use all 4 moves, though. Exeggcute is frail. You got Sleep Powder, Stun Spore, Psychic, and Explosion. You're going to get the Sleep off, perhaps. If you have Gastly on the same team or Venusaur on the same team, probably not, because they could use a Sleep move. You could try to Stun Spore an incoming Rapidash, and then you've got Psychic. Psychic's good if maybe you're a fellow Porygon's been paralyzing everything. Now Exeggcute isn't so slow. And then you have Explosion, which is awesome. But Explosion is kind of... It's not weak. That's the wrong word for it. But because everything's so bulky in Gen 1, everyone has max stats. The Explosion just doesn't one-hit KO really anything other than Abra, I suppose. Funny story, in a match, Abra used Reflect, and I had to have a crit Explosion get through it. If I didn't crit, I would have lost that match. Unbelievable. Next up, I got Gastly at 8. I think Gastly is good for utility. Hypnosis, inaccurate move, but it can save your game. Psychic and Thunderbolt, awesome stab, or not so, excuse me, they're not stab moves, but they go off of Gastly's special stat, which is like 80 or 100. It's incredible. And then Explosion's always good. I think that Eggy's Explosion's a little better than Gastly's, but you're kind of using Explosion, you know, in case of fire, pull switch kind of deal, break glass or whatnot. Gastly's biggest thing is it's slower than Nidoking, and Nidoking one-hit KOs with Earthquake with ease. It also is slower than Abra, who also one-hit KOs it. So that's one of Abra's greatest features, is that it just takes on Gastly. Now, goodness, I missed something altogether. Hold on. Nidoqueen I had at 11, Graveler at 10. So sorry about that. So, real quick, Graveler, good against Rapidash in terms of resisting Hyper Beam and Body Slam. If you can read the Hyper Beam, then you'll force Rapidash to recharge, you fire off an Earthquake, or you can explode even. But be wary of the burn from Rapidash, be wary of the burn from Magmar, and Graveler slow. So, Nidoking Earthquake, Nidoking Blizzard, Venusaur Razor Leaf, Golduck Surf, Abra Psychic even, just Porygon's Blizzard. There's a ton of moves that can go nuts. So, excuse me there. So we got 14 Seaking, 13 Pinsir, 12 Kingler, 11 Nidoqueen, 10 Graveler. Now we got 9 Exeggcute, 8 Gastly. And at number 7, I've got Staryu. Okay. Alright, I know a lot of people like Staryu. I think Staryu's overrated. Staryu is fast, but very frail. Can be 2-hit KO by Nidoking with ease, and Speed Ties Nidoking. And honestly, when I see Staryu, the first thing I think is switch to Porygon and use Thunder Wave. Something's getting Thunder Waved. And if their Nidoking has already either been put to sleep or is dead or is weakened, then Nidoking all of a sudden is not the greatest switch into Porygon. If they're both at full health, Nidoking likes Porygon because you can just fish for that crit Earthquake and just end that one-on-one exchange. But yeah, I think I don't I don't love Staryu, but I give respect to Staryu, and I'm putting it at 7. If you guys disagree, definitely let me know. No worries. Porygon at number 6 on his own island. Porygon Island. Man, I like Porygon. In fact, of the 17 Mons, probably Porygon's my second favorite of all these Mons. Porygon is, first of all, just absolute phenomenal looking. The digital duck. Porygon, Thunderwave, Recover Forever, has Blizzard, Psychic, can even use Thunderbolt if you like. I find that Porygon's a great switch into other Porygons. You know they're going to Thunderwave, so just take the Thunderwave. Keep your Rapidash healthy. Keep your Golduck healthy. Keep Venusaur healthy. Keep Magmar healthy. Keep Scyther healthy. Switch into your own Porygon. Maybe the luck goes your way, but I do like Porygon. Don't want to sell him short, but he's just quite great. However, I do think Porygon is a step down from this next tier. At the beginning of the month, I kind of was having trouble with my 3, 4, and 5 here, but I think that as I played more and more matches, it became obviously clear that Abra is number 5 because Abra is simply so frail. Great psychic, great special, can just really sweep a team at the end, but I mean, Drowsy can just come in and paralyze you, and then that ruins your fun. I saw a lot of folks run Substitute, and they don't realize you can paralyze a Substitute. You can put a Substitute to sleep. You can burn a Substitute, I suppose. A little bit harder, I guess, because you would kill it with Fire Blast. But yeah, in Gen 2, Substitutes block status, which is kind of what it should do. In Gen 1, so broken that it's just crazy. But Abra is just frail. And now I will say, I saw a lot of lead Abras. You have probably a 20 or maybe 19% chance to critical hit Nidoking. That's worth it. I mean, sometimes it's worth it. You get that critical Nidoking, you're up 6-5 instantly. And sometimes that's all you need just to turn it to 6-5. And so, anyways, I like Abra, but I think that Abra's still got flaws, but certainly better than the folks below it. Venusaur at number 4. I'm wondering if Venusaur might be better than Nidoking, but I saw a lot of lead Venusaurs. You just want to try to win that sleep war at the beginning. But I think that, Venusaur's Razor Leaf is also incredible for Golduck. It's like a last ditch kind of break glass in case of emergency against Golduck. You've got to get him in before Golduck starts getting too pumped up. Now, if you can paralyze Golduck, though, that puts you in a lot better shape. But Venusaur, I ran Sleep Powder, Razor Leaf, and then Swords Dance and Hyper Beam, so I lost Body Slam. I suppose you can drop Razor Leaf for Body Slam, or you can drop Sleep Powder if you've got the sleeping support. But I think dropping Sleep Powder is a huge mistake. You need it sometimes in a desperate way. Another problem Venusaur has is that Rapidash can just Fire Spin it down into range of Fire Blast, and then it just gets taken out. But I think that Venusaur is great and one of the top mons in this tier. I believe Venusaur was in you. So at 3, I put Nidoking. Great speed. I ran 4 attacks: Earthquake, Blizzard, Thunderbolt, Fire Blast. End of story. A lot of lead Nidoking mirror matchups. You try to win the speed tie. If you get the crit, boom, it goes your way. 1 in 6 chance to crit with that Earthquake. It will almost always one-hit KO Abra if you can survive the Psychic. Lead, if you have a Nidoking, Venusaur is kind of an awkward Pokemon to go up against because basically your Nidoking sleeps. But, you hit it with Blizzard and maybe Venusaur misses Sleep Powder, and then you put Venusaur in a really compromising spot. That helps your Golduck a ton. It helps your Omanite, helps your Kingler. Venusaur being in a precarious state helps your Staryu, of course, puts you in an upper hand. And I love Nidoking, but I found that Nidoking ended up being my sleep fodder way more because I can't have Magmar asleep and I can't have Scyther asleep because Magmar has to be able to get off that Confuse Ray in a last-ditch effort. Scyther is the only Pokemon that speed ties Rapidash, and so Rapidash can just go crazy on your team if you don't have something to just stand up to Rapidash. You probably shouldn't run Scyther and Omanite. No need for all that. But anyways, yeah, if things go your way, maybe you can even get a freeze off with Nidoking. You can get a crit. So, but I like Nidoking. Nidoking is excellent in this tier, and because of Nidoking's excellence, Nidoqueen ended up getting, shoved down here to number 11 when it was probably number 1 back in the Fearow and Arcanine days. Okay, number 2. We got 2 Pokemon left. I ended up going with Golduck at number 2. I don't like Golduck at all, but you gotta respect Golduck's amnesia, surf, blizzard, rest. Holy crap. I know that sometimes they would run seismic toss instead of rest. I've even seen a confusion Golduck. I'm not sure if he doesn't get psychic in Gen 1, but anyways, I had to kind of RNG my way sometimes through Golduck. If my Venusaur's healthy, no problem. You switch in Razor Leaf, cool. Maybe you can even luckily put it to sleep. But Magmar would have to confuse it. And then if you can get the confusion to go your way, then you can start slamming it with Body Slam. Then you can get a little para confusion to go your way. But Golduck is a nightmare to deal with if you let Golduck get out of control. So many times I would just have to bring in Porygon, paralyze it, and just keep fishing for psychic special drops. And then hopefully, if Golduck was in like the 77 range, Venusaur can one hit KO from that point with Razor Leaf. So I think the range is maybe 77 to 91 ish. And so, but Golduck is incredible. However, I believe the king of PU right now in its current state is Rapidash. This horse is on fire. Fire Spin is incredibly annoying. My goodness. Fire Blast, incredibly strong. In fact, when I had Rapidash out against their Nidoking, I wasn't afraid. 30% chance to burn. You get that burn, 30.1% chance, I think, then you've got Nidoking on the ropes. And maybe even Magmar can have it confused beforehand. And now, Rapidash is incredibly bad against Golduck, though. That's just a fact. But obviously, Rapidash can one-hit KO a lot of the frailer Pokemon with Hyper Beam. It can slam Abra for 66%. Kingler, actually, Kingler, Graveler, Omanite, they're probably some of your better mons against Rapidash. But again, Rapidash can just Fire Spin you into oblivion. It's only 70% accurate, but it can work. I found my best strategy to try to, with Rapidash, was to go to my own Rapidash, because that would usually deter them from using Fire Spin, and you just try to win the Body Slam war. But sometimes you can just go with Porygon, Thunder Wave it on a miss, on a Fire Spin miss. You can Thunder Wave, and then once Rapidash is paralyzed, it is GG. That's not true, but you're in really rough shape. You can still come back, but anyways, what's your favorite PU Mon? Do you have a favorite on this list of 17, or even on the ZU Mons? These Mons down here are just all the sprites from, Gen 1. But let me know what your favorite PU Mon is. And, if you think that one Pokemon, maybe Abra should be lower, Gastly should be higher, Wigglytuff should be number 1, whatever you think, just let me know in the comments section. I'd love to hear from you. But I appreciate you all tuning in. I enjoyed the tier. It was fun. Most of the matches are 20 to 30 turns, maybe some 40s if Dragonair's not there. But I just really enjoyed PU. It was fun to play this tier in February 2025. And anyways, you all have a great day. Thank you for listening.